what really gets my dick hard is...
So fucking what?
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast. I'm Ethan Look.
And I'm Clint Wells.
And this is Revisited number 2. If you haven't listened before, we did a Revisited episode on the Grammys, Lady Gaga, tour announcement, all that stuff. So go back and check that out if you haven't heard it yet. These are just short little recaps of Metallica events.
Which we got a lot of listens to that one episode that day, and then almost zero since then.
Which is fun.
That's totally fun. It's topical.
Yeah, they're very short. They're just, if you're just driving to go get some gas, it's a good episode to listen to.
Or if you have gas, it's a good episode to listen to.
It's a great episode to listen to, yeah. You can fart all you want while listening to Revisited episodes. So, but nonetheless, we're excited to do a number 2 here, and we're going to keep doing these things as different Metallica events happen. This particular Metallica event happened 35 years ago, and it was Metallica's very first show they played in Anaheim, California.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. And I didn't actually, I kind of forgot about it, and I saw it on a friend's Facebook post last night, and I was like, damn it, totally blanked on that one. I should get a hold of Clint so we can record this thing.
Which I'm glad you did, because I'm leaving in T-minus 1 hour for a tour. So
yeah,
we're doing this remotely from our respective homes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm also getting quite the cold.
Oh, did you get? I wanted to get it from my house.
I might have, but my daughter's also sick. When your kid gets sick, you just get sick.
Okay, it's your daughter's fault.
But it's always good day one of a tour just to be really you're going to be in about 3 days is when it's going to really hit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice way to start the tour.
Morale's high,
sucking all the energy right out of your whole body. Getting you ready for the stage.
If any of you guys out there want to come say hi on the road, I'm doing a tour with Matthew Mayfield in Blue October. You can go to MatthewMayfield.com, see the dates. It's mostly Midwest and East Coast. Come say hi and buy me a beer, and I'll give you a cold.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And maybe a Metal Up Your Podcast guitar pick.
Oh, that's true. Oh, do you see this little pendant I have, by the way? Can you see that on the video? It's like the Metallica logo, but it says podcast.
Oh, yeah. Someone on the forums had recommended we buy those. I think,
Laurie
right?
Laker brought it to my attention, and I got you one.
You're so sweet.
I know, man. I'm the sweetest. So let's talk about this anniversary of their first show.
Yeah, very, very first show. And then the lineup, of course, was James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Dave Mustaine, and Ron McGovney. It was March 14th, 1982 at a venue called Radio City in Anaheim, California.
Are you familiar with that place?
No, I did... I guess when I was growing up, the main venue was called Chain Reaction out there, which didn't even start in probably till the late 90s. But I hadn't even actually heard of Radio City. And so when I looked up the history of the place, it shut down in like 86 due to excessive, police presence and noise complaints and stuff like that. So that venue hadn't been around in a long time. However, if it was still there, that would be a great spot to visit if you were a Metallica fan, because that's where they played their first show.
Yeah.
And this is even before they appeared on the Metal Massacre compilation with Hit the Lights. They only did 2 original songs in their very first show. They were that new of a band, which is crazy.
Yeah, and one of the strangest facts about the show is that James did not play guitar at all.
Yeah.
Which is, why not? That's a mystery.
Well, I know. Well, there's...
Maybe he wasn't comfortable enough with the right hand stuff while singing.
Yeah, it's very possible. As you and I both know, as musicians, that does take some time to develop, and you're singing a different rhythm than your right hand is playing.
Right.
It can be very difficult at times.
Or were they always planning on him not playing? It's
maybe so.
It's so weird.
It is weird, but the one thing I love about one of the facts about this first show is that during the very first song, Dave Mustaine breaks a string, and according to Lars, he was hiding behind his drum kit, super embarrassed, and James tried out some comedy on stage.
Oh my God. I've been there. You've done that.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
there.
Yeah. If you're a musician, usually jokes don't go over that well unless you're, Jack Black or something.
Well, and if you've been doing this long enough, there has come the dreaded time where you are having to fucking kill time on stage.
Oh yeah. And it sucks.
I will say after a decade plus of experience, I could probably handle if a guitar string broke, but I do get that, 10 minutes can feel like a lifetime, man. When you're in front of a couple hundred, because I think that about 200 people showed up.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
I mean, 10 minutes on stage, for those of you that haven't been in bands and performed live, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's long enough if, 2 minutes go by and you have to swap out a cable or something. 10 minutes, I mean...
That's two songs.
Yeah, but it's easily 2 songs. If you're like a punk rock band, that's like 6 songs.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get 7 more Diamond Head they could have played 7 more Diamond Head tunes.
They totally could have.
They were basically a Diamond Head cover band that night.
Yeah, I mean, they did a couple Diamond Head songs, Savage. Well, it's...
They did 4 Diamond Head tunes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a song by Savage and Sweet Savage.
Yeah.
But I mean, this also was in the early days of that new wave of British heavy metal coming to the metalheads in America.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of those people may not have known who Diamond Head was.
Totally.
Or any of those bands.
I totally believe that for them at that time, Diamond Head was this sort of band that they felt like maybe in the States they only knew about. So they were.
Yeah.
Tom Petty talks about in their early club days they were being told to play top 40 songs and no one knew the difference, so they would play their own songs, and I bet they were playing Diamond Head songs and people probably thought they were original tunes. Well,
to fast forward after this show, I know that when they ended up opening for Saxton at the Whiskey, it was like a 2-night thing, two shows a night. Rat was opening like the later show, I think, and the band that wanted a local opener and the promoter at the Whiskey wanted to hear Metallica, so they borrowed a 4-track and recorded the Sweet Savage song "Killing Time" and "Let It Loose" by Savage. The Whiskey thought those were original tunes, and that's how they got the gig.
Unbelievable.
So it kind of goes to show. I mean, even a promoter at a famous rock venue had no idea that those were even cover songs.
And it all comes back around too, because you and I should put a band together and go play just all Diamond Head songs and see if anyone knows.
I highly doubt they would, especially in Nashville.
No shit. Nashville's really known for its love of British new wave heavy metal.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a huge Maiden scene here. I did just find out,
all dudes, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I did just find out, and this is exciting for anybody that lives in Nashville that maybe listens to the podcast, and I told Clint about it. But a friend of mine, Jeremiah, who plays in Demon Hunter, texted me the other day that there's a bar over on 8th Avenue South, and every Monday night they do a metal night. And
which bar is it at?
I think it's at Melrose Billiards.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Which is still kind of a rad old smoky shithole.
Yeah, it is. I can attest to that.
But every Monday night they do a metal night, and he said that his buddy that puts it on would love to have us do a podcast there sometime.
Yeah, we should do that.
I think it'd be awesome. So, anyways, back to the subject at hand. There's not a lot of information on this show. I mean, there's a bit. If you go to Metallica.com, they have their timeline you can read through, and there's only about a paragraph about that show on Metallica's website, but you can find more stuff online. But yeah, not a ton. I know of all the attendees. I read a quote from Lars saying that they were mostly Dave's friends, since James and Lars were pretty much loners. Mm-hmm. And Dave was like a socialite and always hanging out and partying with people. So like, like probably 150 of Dave Mustaine's friends were there.
Yeah, James's only friend was there, Lars.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's as funny?
And Lars's only friend was there, James.
James, yeah. Is when they described the early days with Dave. This is so weird to me. They always describe him as good looking. They're always like, Dave was like life of the party. He was very popular. He was very good looking. I'm always like the record squeals off the grooves there for me, because I can imagine him being like jovial and like he drank a lot, and being likable. But then they're like, yeah, and he was always so handsome. I'm like,
what? Wait a second. I mean, back then, James had a lot of like acne and stuff. Maybe people were thrown off by a Danish kid. I don't know. But yeah, good on you, Dave.
James talks about how Lars smelled Danish.
He used to smell like pastries and stuff.
What a bunch of misfits, man. I don't imagine any of them smell great almost all the time.
Yeah, I'd imagine back in those days for sure, especially traveling around in a van and stuff.
But Dave doesn't even, more about Dave than me, but he doesn't seem like a super jovial dude. Like everything I've seen did being fired from Metallica really kind of change his constitution?
It's very possible.
Is he would you describe him as jovial, life of the party type?
I will say, man, when I had a day to hang out with him years ago.
Yeah, you spent time with him.
Yeah, I spent like all day with him one time, and he was very kind, and he definitely would crack jokes and would make you laugh. But
very cool.
but he's not that kind of personality. Like when he walks in the room, you're like, oh, here comes the laughter.
Here comes Crazy Dave.
Yeah, oh, kooky wacky Dave.
He just enters rooms doing cartwheels. That's just the classic Dave Mustaine.
Totally. And like when he lands the cartwheel, starts juggling or something. Like spiked balls.
There's old wacky Dave Mustaine again.
He's so zany. So anyways, the first show, we've kind of talked about some of the songs they play, but I'll just read through the set list real quick. It's only 9 songs, all are covers, but 2. So they open with Hit the Lights, which is obviously theirs, which
Great.
was, like we said, the first song on Metal Massacre. And that was their first recorded appearance. Then Blitzkrieg by Blitzkrieg. Helpless by Diamond Head, Jump on the Fire. Let It Loose by Savage, Sucking My Love by Diamond Head, Am I Evil by Diamond Head, The Prince by Diamond Head, and Killing Time by Sweet Savage.
It's cool. That's like classic Kill 'Em All era shit right there.
Yeah, still a badass set list. And it's pretty cool that songs like Am I Evil and The Prince and even Killing Time, if you didn't know about much British heavy metal, like the guys at the Whiskey, you thought these were Metallica songs. Metallica kind of made songs like Am I Evil their own.
Oh, it totally did. Yeah, I agree.
That one probably being number one, but I mean, yeah, Blitzkrieg is another one. You know,
Yep.
When I was growing up getting into Metallica, I thought those were Metallica songs. You know.
Yeah, same here. It's
But
pretty.
yeah,
neat.
I mean that about caps it up for the.
Wait, did you say
facts and
earlier?
information on this show.
Does audio exist from this show? Were those 2 songs that you said that were taped? That wasn't from this show, right?
No.
Okay.
They I think after that show, they got a 4-track together and recorded 2 songs to submit to the Whiskey. But I think they had. I think they had already recorded Metal Militia for that compilation because Lloyd Grant played on it.
Right.
And obviously Mustaine's in the band at this point, so but it hadn't come out yet. But you know what? All the comedy and string breaking and hiding behind the drum kit aside, as Metallica fans, I'd like to say we're very thankful that they played a really shitty show. Yeah. And became the band they are today.
Me too. Yeah, it's a wonderful little spot in the history of Metallica. I would pay lots of dollars, enough dollars to probably get me divorced, to hear Hetfield's comedy routine.
Oh my gosh, it would have been so good.
Did you guys hear the one about the so airports, huh?
So bullet belts, huh?
How many bullets in a bullet belt does it change a string if you're Dave Mustaine? Wait, I fucked it up. Wait.
Hang on, let me try that again.
Hey, so I will say, since this is we're going to drop this episode today, we've gotten a lot of good feedback on the iTunes reviews and the guitar picks.
Awesome.
And here's the deal, dudes. Some of you who left us reviews before the contest, we're going to honor all that and send you guys all picks too. So
yeah,
don't be bummed if you didn't get in before the thing. We're going to make it right with everyone. It was a fun experiment, and it's turning out really well. So thanks to everyone who's done it so far. If you haven't done it, go to iTunes, leave us a review. It's very brief, very quick. Yep. One person even wrote positive review. That's all they wrote.
That's great. I love that.
It's fine with me. And we're going to send you guys some stuff. And we have some stuff cooking in the works for the tour coming up.
Yep.
Some shit we can't really quite talk about yet because some of it we don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And some cool stuff maybe happening in Nashville, like I mentioned before, like in front of an audience, live podcast at a bar kind of thing. So
we've gotten hooked up with the Tennessee chapter of the Met Club, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're the guy that runs it's in Chattanooga, and him and I have texted a bunch. Really nice dude, and yeah, even when I mentioned to him that we might do a live podcast at a bar up here, he was like, "Let me know. I'm driving up."
And have we talked about this podcast expo thing that we might try to go to?
No, we have not. Actually,
should we do that?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know anything about it. So there's a podcast. There's sort of like a NAMM show, but for rock podcasts. I believe it's in August. Is it in August?
I think it's in August, yeah. We'll get more info on it and talk about it on the next episode.
And so we're trying,
next couple episodes.
If Ethan and I are both in town and not on tour, we're trying to figure out how to maybe go there and set up a booth and meet some folks. And so that's pretty interesting.
And it's cool that, you know, the person putting it on, I think, is based in Kentucky, so that's not far, but he's trying to bring in a bunch of rock podcasters from around the country, maybe around the world, I don't know. But thankfully for us, it's taking place in Nashville, so it's right in our backyard.
Which is good because we're so famous now that it's really hard to travel for the podcast.
It is a little tough, yeah. At least we can both hire black cars and show up, you know, kind of incognito.
What if we get a tour bus just for that?
Hey, I got a friend that drives. Like, Maybe he can borrow one.
It always drives me crazy, man, during CMA week here when we play, like, people just get a bus. It's like, you live here, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You fucking live here. What are you doing in a bus? Oh, the other thing is, we got another shout out today from the Podcast Rock City dudes. Thank you guys for that. We got a shout out from someone who wrote in named Brady on his sports podcast. What podcast was that?
Oh, it was the Oklahoma City Thunder one, right?
Yeah, he gave us a shout out on his podcast.
Awesome.
Our friend Jack from Bayside gave us a nice shout out this week.
He did, yeah.
All of that helped.
I hooked him up with a couple picks.
Yeah, I saw that. All that helps. Like, if you guys spreading the word, thank you so much. Whether you have an audience or a big audience or a small audience, this is kind of a grassroots thing. So thanks to everyone.
It means a lot to us, for sure.
Is that it? Is it over?
I think it's over. So
it's all over.
If you want to get in touch with us, email us at metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. You can always follow us on Twitter, metalupyourpc, Instagram, metalupyourpodcast, and you can always go to Patreon and support us and help us keep this thing going. That's patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. And I believe those are all the social media. Facebook if you want. I don't really like Facebook, but I do engage with people there. So that's facebook.com/metalupyourpodcast.
All right, dudes. Thanks. Peace.
Yep. See you next time.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.